another video. Welcome to Sammy G's World of Cinema. Today on the channel, I'm going to be continuing on with my Wes Anderson film review series of Away there. And this is, I went to the cinema, Tyneside Cinema, to go and see The Life Aquatic with Zissou on Sunday. The first time seeing this at the cinema as well, because I did missed this a couple of years ago when they showed it part of Wes Anderson film season there. So The Life Aquatic with Zissou is Wes Anderson's fourth feature film, and it is of course directed by the wonderful Wes Anderson, and it is starring Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, Cate Blanchett, Michael Gambon, Jeff Goldblum, Angelica Houston and Bud Cort. The Life Aquatic with Zissou is about a famous oceanographer named Steve Zissou, who is kind of really well known and well established as an oceanographer, and he basically is working on a brand new documentary which he premieres, and basically it's kind of showcases the loss of his sea crew partner and his friend who was killed at sea by this jaguar shark. And Steve Zissou decides to form a crew and to venture out to sea and go and find and track down this jaguar shark that killed Steve Zissou's best friend in the past. Meanwhile, to his attention and out of the blue, Steve Zissou discovers that he has informed that he is actually also, as well as this, a father to Owen Wilson's character in this film. I think the character's name is Nick, played by Owen Wilson, and they have a bit of a relation to one another, and it's kind of about that as well. So that's a bit about the plot there, guys. The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Yeah, I do like this film. I do really like this film. I've got to be honest though, guys. Is this one of my favourite Wes Anderson films? No, but do I like it still? Yes, absolutely. I still think this is a very solid Wes Anderson entry there into his filmography, and I think there is just a lot to admire from obviously the filmmaking side of it. I mean, this has really just held up well today. I mean, it has aged like fine wine, this film has, guys. You know, the filmmaking side of this film is really great. You know, I think I really like how this is kind of Wes Anderson just taking his sort of direction into a whole new path, and doing something kind of a complete departure in tone and style to his first three films that were a bit more grounded in style, but some of that sort of the Wes Anderson tropes and style, you still saw some of that in the Royal Tenenbaums, but something of a complete contrast and a different style of tone is kind of rendered on into this Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. And I think this is just a really interesting film, still learning Bill Murray taking on his first leading role in a Wes Anderson movie. I mean, this is the year after Lost in Translation, which is one of my absolute favourite films of all time, and for him to star in another lead role and a completely different character to Bob in Lost in Translation. Yeah, I think Wes Anderson, but also Bill Murray was having a really great time in their career. And yeah, would go on to being in other great movies as well as Wes Anderson would Wes Anderson would be directing other great movies to come as well, and one of which I consider to be an absolute masterpiece of a movie, which I think, if you know me by now, guys, you'll probably know which movie that is when I come to reviewing it. But yeah, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, there's a lot to admire. I have never loved this movie as much as I've wanted to. I think don't get me wrong as well, just to say about my cinematic experience with this is the way to go with this movie, guys. Watching this like at the cinema, it looked really good as well. You know, I think it's kind of one of these movies that just looks even better on the big screen. I mean, I've seen this film a few times now. I've been always used to seeing this one at home. However, watching this at the cinema, you know, it always, like with a lot of other movies, this has a great deal of difference watching this like at the cinema. And yeah, I just think the underwater, you know, like kind of like premise of the movie was just a really interesting idea for this film. I do really like Bill Murray in the lead role as Steve Zissou. I think he's easily, well, not easily, only because there's other great like actors and characters in this movie, but he definitely steals the show in this film. I'm sure many other people can agree with this one. He is just absolutely firing on all cylinders in this film, like front and center, and I think he was a great like casting choice to play off this leading character. I did really like the whole sort of you know, like reunion with like kind of Owen Wilson's character, like his long lost son, Nick. I think it is Nick, and yeah, I think that their like father-son screen time was really good in this film. I think that was probably one of the highlights of the film for me, and also, yeah, I just think that the way the film is choreographed, you know, with in regards to when they're filming like this documentary at sea, I just think that is so well handled here, guys. And again, you know, like the kind of, you know, like the camera work, I just think, you know, like Wes Anderson excels on all levels with this filmmaking as well. I think it's just a beautiful looking movie as well. And of course, there are some really comical moments in there as well. You know, one scene where Willem Dafoe, he thinks like he's kind of misunderstood that, oh, is he going to be leaving like the ship, leaving like the crew, but then it turns out like no, like you've crossed the line, so you're staying in this crew, and he's like, oh well, thank you. There's one quite amusing scene there, and yeah, Willem Dafoe. This is Willem Dafoe's first attempt in starring in a Wes Anderson film, and he absolutely delivers in the role here, as you would expect from Willem Dafoe, as he is such a versatile, fantastic actor. And yeah, it was great to see Willem Dafoe like starring in a Wes Anderson film, and he would be in other of Wes Anderson's subsequent movies to come as well. And I think he's just such a great casting choice. Even though I haven't been the biggest fan of like The French Dispatch or Asteroid City, he is easily the kind of the best part about them movies for me, in my opinion. I can't remember if Willem Dafoe was in Asteroid City or not, but he was definitely my favourite character in The French Dispatch, or it might have been Jeffrey Wright. Anyways, guys, went a bit off topic there. I do apologise about that. But yeah, also, I've got to give a massive shout out as well to Serge Georgie, I think it is, who does the David Bowie covers and sings those David Bowie covers in Portuguese. I just absolutely love that. That is easily one of my highlights of the movie as well. Being such a big David Bowie fan myself, you know, I think it was a really nice sort of like, it was great to have that as a kind of a bit of a supporting sort of factor to the movie there, you know, like because this is one of the crew members, and like a Brazilian actor as well, who also stars as this character who sings all the Bowie's covers in Portuguese. And yeah, I love how that comes in and out of the movie. You know, I do love it when movies do that, where they have a character who's like a singer and they come in and out of the movie, and it kind of enhances with like that particular moment that's happening. They do that a lot with Disney movies as well. So yeah, I do like what they did here. And the Bowie covers were brilliant as well. Actually, I loved that the Bowie covers, particularly Life on Mars was probably my favourite song that was covered here. Also, yep, Michael Gambon actually was also one of my favourite characters in the movie. You know, I think like this lecturer or this professor, and yeah, he's got this real downbeat sort of sarcastic humour about him, and yeah, I think I would have loved to see more of Michael Gambon in this movie, and yeah, this is the first Wes Anderson movie that Michael Gambon would star in as well. So yep, he was a great addition, as was Jeff Goldblum, and Angelica Houston was really good in this film as well. Cate Blanchett, I thought she did a decent job, but she wasn't one of my favourite characters in this movie, I must admit. I didn't really care for her sort of like, I would say her like chemistry is something, a screen presence with Owen Wilson's character. I felt there was a bit of and I don't mind dialogue driven in the movie, guys, but there was a few scenes here and there that did drag out a little bit, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I love it when there's, you know, I am a sucker for those like character driven movies and like drama movies as well, but yeah, there was a few scenes here and there in this movie that did drag out a little bit there, and I felt this film, I think this is kind of why I'm not as big on this movie as much as I'd love to be, is because there is a few pacing issues here and there, and I think this film clocks in for about an hour and 55 minutes, and yeah, I think this film could have been trimmed down there by probably about 15 minutes or something. So, yeah, so I think this film could have been a bit tighter, actually. I think with like kind of, there's a couple of things that did drag out in this movie, in my opinion, but overall, it's still a very fun, enjoyable movie as well. Like I say, guys, I love like kind of the underwater and the ocean scenery of the movie, and I think the crew members are a lot of fun. The look of the ship as well, I really loved that design and all the rooms that was centered around in it as well, and kind of, and when you kind of trail around these rooms as well, it's kind of like a detour around it. Yeah, I found that very good, and the ending was beautiful as well. When you get to the ending and you've got Sigur Rós playing in the background, that is a beautiful scene towards the end of the movie as well. And yeah, so also, guys, I absolutely love the scene with involving the pirates as well, when the pirates are kind of invading the ship and the cruise ship and stuff, and they're kind of rivaling off each other. That is easily one of the highlights of the movie as well. The score as well is brilliant. I think this composer has done the score for Wes Anderson's previous movies, but like the score is magic in this movie. I love it, and yeah, like I think that score really enhances like sort of the action-packed sequence that happens towards the end of the movie as well. So that is a brilliant scene. Great soundtrack as well. Like I say, apart from a few pacing issues here and there, and I'm not quite in the love sort of camp with this movie as of yet. I think it's a movie that I think, like a lot of Wes Anderson movies, I think you kind of need to give it time, and it might grow on you on subsequent viewings. This is kind of one of them where I've always liked this movie, but I just don't love it as much as Wes Anderson's other films for the most part. However, I do think it is a very solid Wes Anderson film, guys. I also do like some of the animation aspects of the movie as well. I do really like that as well, and again, like kind of the opening scene with the premiere and the theatre as well is a good way to kickstart the movie. Also, interestingly, Steve Zissou is a character inspired by oceanographer and filmmaker Jacques Costi, I think it is, who has directed like a couple of documentaries, and yeah, like Sue Jog did the Bowie covers. I think he was also starred in City of God as well, and I did a bit of other research as well, that the characters were inspired by The Great Gatsby, Magnificent Ambersons and Moby Dick as well. So I just thought that there's just a bit of interesting like information there as well. But yep, overall guys, a very solid Wes Anderson film. I mean, I think this is definitely, for me in my opinion, a bit of a step down in quality compared to Wes Anderson's like previous film, The Royal Tenenbaums, which is a film I'm much more fond of, and I do personally prefer it to his first two movies as well, which is Bottle Rocket and The Rushmore, which could be a little bit of a hot take right there, because I can imagine this film being sort of put above like those first two movies, which I totally get, because it is a bit of a favourite for a lot of Wes Anderson's fans, but still a good movie, guys. I still really enjoy it. There is a lot to admire, and, you know, it's got a bit of an eccentric feel about it. You know, Wes Anderson doing something quite ambiguous and so fresh and refreshing and different to, like, kind of sort of what he went for in his first three movies, which I am personally a bigger fan of, but this is still a good, solid Wes Anderson film. And of course, I absolutely heads and shoulders much prefer this to something along the lines of French Dispatch and Asteroid City. I am much more of a fan of this movie over them two movies, but still looking forward to revisiting them in due course. So the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10, guys. I think this is, again, a good, solid film. Not a favourite of mine, but I do really like it all the same, and still would be a good introduction piece if you're still like kind of new to Wes Anderson's filmography. This is still a good introduction piece, I will say that. So yeah, that's my cinema ticket from Sunday, guys. When I went to go and see it, looked beautiful in 35mm, by the way, and this is my Criterion copy, which I think this is still on offer like at the minute. Nice Criterion edition there, guys. Again, definitely yeah, definitely a really good edition there. And I think they are doing all of Wes Anderson's films on like in like a Criterion box set at the end of the year. I'm really hoping we will get The Isle of Dogs, French Dispatch and Asteroid City over here on Criterion, because I think that would be really good if they did that. But yeah, that's my Criterion copy there. So yeah, guys, do let me know your thoughts on The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. What's your thoughts on this movie? Do you have a favourite Wes Anderson movie? And I would love to know all of that good stuff in the comments down below. So thanks for watching, cheers for stopping by, and until next time, I'll see you for the next video. Bye bye.